review, a mini look at how I created this eye look, and all of the information that you guys need to know about the new Naked Ultraviolet palette. I did use this for today's eye look that I have going on, so I will be doing cutaways to me applying the actual product. I'm going to talk to you guys about the colors we have, the selection, how they wear, how they apply, the price. All of that good stuff will be in today's video. If you guys are new around here, welcome. My name is Andrea. I do videos all about beauty, affordable fashion, and the occasional lifestyle post. So if that's something you guys love, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell button so you are aware every single time I post a new video. Before we get started with the review, since this is my first video in like 2 or 3 weeks, I just wanted to kind of summarize why I took a little bit of time off. It just felt really wrong for me personally with everything that was going on with the Black Lives Matter movement. Posting content, I really wanted to step back and just let Black creators have the spotlight and the limelight there. This is such an important movement. This is something that we all need to be working together on. It just seemed really wrong to me to be like, hey, let's talk about this makeup stuff here. They do their thing over there. I feel like we all have to be a united front on this. I am definitely with you guys. All of my Black content creators, followers, friends, anyone who's part of the Black community, just know that this is always going to be a safe space for you guys. I always want you to know I'm on your side. I'm listening. I'm learning. I'm right there with you. I really wanted to step back and not focus on like beauty and vanity stuff and makeup, since this is all not important in comparison of everything that is going on. So I just wanted to mention that to you guys because, like I said, this is my first video in quite some time. I am a lot more active on my Instagram on the daily if you guys want to follow me there. I'm also going to be sharing a lot more resources and Black Lives Matter movements on there as well. So if you guys are not following me, also make sure you're following me there. Let's go ahead and get started with the review. So I actually did receive this as PR from Urban Decay a little bit ago, and that's not going to impact my opinion on this as well. They didn't like pay me to talk to you guys about it. They're not telling me what to tell you guys or anything. It was just simply sent in PR so that I can review and give you guys my honest thoughts on it. This is part of their Naked series. I'm sure everybody knows about their Naked line. It's like their main palette line, and there's so many that come in that collection. This is the newest one. This one also retails for $49, which I think is the same price as all of the other Naked palettes besides the Naked Basics, which are the little guys. Those are significantly cheaper. This is $49, and you're gonna get 12 eyeshadows that vary between mattes, metallics, and holographic shimmers. And then most of the tones in this palette, as you're gonna see, are that lilac purple. So this is very like lilac purple focused and not so much neutral focused like some of their other palettes that they have. And I would say that a lot of these tones in here are a little bit more on the cooler tone as well. There's not that many warm tones besides Mind Slip and Dazed, and maybe even Hacked here that you see on this side. Most of them are gonna fall within that like neutral or coolish tone, since they are a little bit more purple and a little bit more rich. And this one does also come with a brush. It's a really nice brush actually. It's not like a big fluffy brush at the end. It's more of like a compact brush. It does have like a pencil brush on the other side. I really do like the brush. I think it's a nice little addition. And the brush itself is like a lucite material or like a lilac clear on the in between, so it's like a pretty looking brush too. I gotta say, I love the packaging of this as well. Like right on the front, it is that hard plastic packaging with the raised logo here, but I love this like pattern detailing here. I think it's just pretty to have. And then because it is that like shiny plastic, you are gonna get fingerprints on it. Not a big deal, but definitely something to keep in mind or to try to keep clean. It does come with a long brush like most of their Naked palettes do, so I really do like that about this as well. It's very helpful when you're traveling with this or when you're doing your makeup and you really need to get like up close. It's really nice to be able to have this. Like I said, this palette is already available online here in the US. I think it launched June 17th, so you can get it online currently. I'm not sure if it's in stores yet, especially because of COVID that is happening. I'm not sure which stores are even open for you to get it in person, but this is available online, and I'm pretty sure it's available at Sephora and Ulta as well. So like I mentioned, this does say that it does come with 12 eyeshadows, vary between metallics, holographics, and matte. So you get 4 mattes. You get Trippin', Mind Slip, Hacked, and Optimized here. Optimized is a really beautiful like lilac color, like true lilac color. It's really, really pretty. And then Hacked is a little bit more mid-tone brown, but it's also gonna lean more mauve. So when you apply this on the eye, you're gonna see that it shifts looks a little bit more mauve instead of just like a straight brown like it looks in here. This lip is like a peachy kind of color. This is probably the most warm tone color here besides Days in the entire palette. It's really beautiful just for the transition. I really like that. And then Trippin', just like a nice matte kind of vanilla shade there. It looks like it almost has a little bit of shimmer, but I would say it definitely leans more matte. It's not like a glowy kind of product. Metallics, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's going to be Dazed, VR, Cyberpunk, Purple Dust, and then Digital. Digital is like a brown kind of color. Purple Dust is like a darker kind of purple there. Cyberpunk is like a mid-tone purpley kind of color. VR is a really nice like rose gold kind of shimmer, and then Dazed is more kind of a coppery orange kind of color. Out of the metallics, I used Cyberpunk today, and that's like the outer third color that I have there, and we'll talk about the eye look in just a second. And then the holographics that you get in this palette are Lucid, Warning, and Euphoric. I did use those three on my eye look today. I gotta say, just right off the bat, for the colors in this palette, I love the colors. I feel like they work well together. I was able to create an eye look obviously with this, but I will say that if you don't have many palettes, you're gonna have a hard time creating an eye look for everyday wear just based on the colors, because you obviously have a lot more purples here, a lot more bright colors, and I feel like because you only get 4 mattes, you're very limited on here. And I myself had to actually dig into another palette because I was trying to find a transition shade for up here that was a little bit darker than this hacked color. Obviously you don't have that there because of the rest of them are metallics and holographics. I feel like this is one of those palettes that's like a complement palette. Like I feel like you are able to create a really beautiful look with this. You may not be able to create a full eye look only with this, or several eye looks only with this. So now going into the actual shadows and how they work, I actually had high expectations when I had this, because if you have been an OG subscriber of mine, I actually did not really like the Naked palettes, the 1, 2, and 3. They were not my favorite. I didn't like them. I feel like they're hard to blend out with, but Urban Decay later on came out with their Naked Heat palette and Naked Basics Reloaded palette, and I feel like this formula is a lot different than those Naked palettes. I feel like these formulas are creamy, but then they also blend out really nicely, and the mattes work out really nice, and they're very pigmented, and I can just create a really good eye look with both of these. So based on that, I had very high expectations that this one would perform really well. Mattes perform really well, just like I mentioned with the other palettes. I used Hack as my transition shade, and it blended out really nicely, but it was also pigmented enough. It wasn't hard to work with. It didn't get muddled when I added like an extra layer to it, and when I added the other shadows later on, it didn't get muddled or anything like that. So the mattes in this one work really well. The shimmers also work really well. So like I said, I used Cyberpunk for the outer third of my eye, pigmented enough that it gave me the color I wanted, but it wasn't like super dark where if you like apply your brush down, like you're screwed. It's like a really intense or rich color, and I kind of like that. I don't mind building it up a little bit if that means that I have a little bit more control, because mattes and the metallics on here work really well. The only thing I struggled with were the holographics in this palette. So I used Lucid on the inner part of my eye here, I used Warning on my waterline, and then I used Euphoric right in the center of my eye. And I tell you guys, I really had to go in multiple times with this. I wonder if it's because these shades themselves are a little bit lighter, and usually light or pastel colors, especially on like my complexion. I had to probably go in like a good 4 times just to get that opaqueness that I see here. So this Lucid color that you guys see, such a beautiful, like really nice light teal color. I love it, but I really had to pack it on several times to really get it this really beautiful teal. Want just like a nice wash of color, those holographics are going to be perfect because it's just going to add something light onto the eyes. But if you want it to be opaque and you want to know exactly what color is on there, or you want it to look like this, I feel like you're gonna have to add full layers of the holographic shades because the pigmentation is just not as intense. And after a while, it really was kind of annoying. So my overall thoughts on this palette, is this palette worth the money, the $49 price tag? I would say yes, it is. I do feel like even though the holographics, you had to go in and add more layers, eventually it does get to be opaque. You could literally pack it on and it would still look really nice, and it would just be more intense. On top of that, I do find the metallics worked really nicely. They didn't flake off. There wasn't like so much fallout when I was using this palette, and the mattes in themselves are that really good Urban Decay matte matte formula that they've started doing, and they work really well. If you like purples, this is like your palette for you. You can add these for like everyday looks with this palette or other palettes. I really do like it. Like this one is actually more aesthetically pleasing than this Naked Reloaded palette, even though I do love warm tones more, and I feel like I actually like this one more than I do this one. So I think this is a really good palette to add to your collection if you want more purples, if you want to like dig into pops of color, a little bit more wearable. But is it for everyone or a must-have? I don't think so, because like I said, if you are somebody that does not really do color, or you want a palette that you can use to work every day, or you want a palette where you can create several eye looks just with one palette, I feel like this is going to be very challenging for you to do. So that is it for the review portion of this. I'm going to toss it over so you guys can see how I created this eye look. Right, so let's go ahead and get started. This eyeshadow that I'm going to dive into is called Hacked. This is like a beautiful mauve mid-tone brown. I'm going to take that on a big fluffy brush, a blending brush, and I'm just going to put that on the upper part of my crease. I'm literally just swiping the product back and forth, and then you guys will see I do small little circles just to make sure everything is blended. I'm going to dive into the Winky Lux palette. This is the Kitten palette, and I'm going to really focus that berry tone on my crease. So I'm going to do the same thing, just go back and forth, but really focusing it on the crease area, not the upper part. And then I will do small circles, again, just to make sure everything is nice and blended out together. I'm going to take the brush from the palette and then dive into Euphoric. It's like this really beautiful lilac iridescent with hints of blue. I'm going to focus that on the center of my eye and then a little bit on the outer third. Then I'll go into Cyberpunk with a blending brush, which is like a deeper true purple with shimmer. And then I'm going to put that on the outer third of my eye, so I can really like deepen up that outer third area and just have a nice gradient to the entire eye look. I'm going to take Lucid on a smaller brush, and then I'm really going to focus this on the first part of my eye and where my tear duct is, because I really want it to be like a nice gradient from teal to like that really nice iridescent lilac purple, and then to that deeper kind of purpley deep tone. I think it's just going to look really nice and a nice pop of color on the inner part of the eye. I'm going to take Warning on the pencil brush side of the brush and then just run it on my lower lash line. And I think the pink really just makes this look pop all together, but it ties in nicely with the purple. Just add lashes and liner and your look is complete. I really hope you like this look. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. So that is it for today's video. Leave it down in the comments below if you guys had heard of this palette, if this palette is on your wish list, what your thoughts are. Are you liking the colors? Is it overkill on the Naked series? All of that stuff I want to know, so leave it down in the comments. Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, all that stuff is also going to be left down below for you guys, as well as coupon codes to help you save some money. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.